So I started recording. Okay. So my name is Denise Offerman, for those who don't know me, because we have some newcomers. Um, we are running twice a year Masters Weightlifting Technical Official courses through the Zoom in all positions. And this is to help to refresh all those who are already technical officials and those who want to become technical officials to be nicely invited and to become aware of all these different positions, because being a referee is not enough. And for anybody who thinks he needs to chase just a jury position, doesn't mean that he's the best technical official. It's about knowing all the positions quite well and to be flexible, to just be put in any position if necessary. And it also is very useful at any national championships or even any competitions, club competitions that anyone wants to run. The more knowledge you have for the technical rules and as technical official, the more value and the more success and quality your championship has. So today, we have others coming in and we let them in. That's nice. So today we actually have 3 subjects. The one is the competition secretary and the weigh-in, and then also the position of the referee. And I will also do the adaptive weightlifting, the technical officials today, because our IMWA adaptive weightlifting chair, Samantha Love, is not available today. She's only available on Sunday, and that would be in the afternoon or in the last webinar we give this weekend. So to make sure that we have at least one morning session where we can have this adaptive weightlifting technical official. Okay, so what I would like to do is, general, I would like to say also.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah, hi, yeah. How are you? Nice to have you with us. So the general information regarding our technical officials are this, is that we do the webinars, and then we ask people who want to become an official technical official to do the theoretical exams. And the theoretical exams are based on the current IWF technical rules and regulation, including the masters weightlifting rules that we have. We have that online. And so these theoretical exams can be taken anytime after you have gone through these webinars. You will receive also you will be also receiving the material by email. So what I would like to ask you now is, we have a chat here in the Zoom. Please leave your email address in this chat so that we have the first contact with you, and then we are able to send you any documents, information, and so on regarding these webinars and up until you are an official technical official. After the theoretical exams, you can sign up at our championships, at any national championships, wherever you want to participate, and collect the number of sessions in the different positions that you need, so that you are allowed to sit the final exams for either IMWA Cat 2 or IMWA Cat 1 technical official. And the final exams for Cat 1 should be done at our championships, so that we have the overview. And we have then the data as well as how many times you have been officiating, either as chief marshal or as referee, or in any other position. Then, of course, like with the IWF, when you are cut 1, you would be allowed any position. Whereas when you are less, when you are cut 2, then the position of jury cannot be given to you. Right? So, if you have any questions regarding the positions, please do now before we start going into the PowerPoint presentations. Any questions at all? No. Okay. No. The last thing I also want to say that we give booklets, and this is for IMWA Cat 2 or NCAT 1, and the license is €50 or $60 per year, for the 4 years, from the date that you have received in the booklet. Okay, we keep a data to this, and it is very much the same like in the IWF. We give you a small sticker, you get a booklet, it's a small one, and then it's very much the same like the IWF. We have ties, we have tie clips, and all the things for the uniform that is actually from the IMWA for the technical official. Okay, if you're ready, I will share the screen. And we can, let me just a sec. Let's do this first. Okay. Okay. I don't want to do the first. I'm going to stop sharing and I will try to get the first. This off. Okay, let's try again now. Start share screen. Here it is. Okay, are you all able to see this?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah.
So the first thing is the competition secretary in the weigh-in. We start from when the competition actually starts, and it starts from the weigh-in. Okay. So what we do in our competitions, we are trying to build weigh-in teams. And these weigh-in teams are not necessarily the referees of the same session. Okay. We are trying to keep the weigh-in teams separately so that we can have all technical international and technical officials available for our big championships. As you're aware, we are actually not running on one platform anymore. We are running now on 2 and on 3 competition platforms. So that means we need all the technical officials at the championships during the whole competition day. And therefore, we are building actually weigh-in teams to make sure that the weigh-in goes smoothly and all the technical officials can be in the competition area for the platforms that we are using, the competition platform. So we are usually asking 2 volunteers from the organizing committee that have the IWF or IMWA technical rules knowledge. And the competition secretary should be one of the 2 weigh-in team officials, as you can see below. And the weigh-in team receives all weigh-in documents through the competition secretary. Now, let's see where the secretary finds all these documents. So the competition secretary is responsible to gather all the necessary documents and collected and ready inside an appropriate folder. We have them usually in a round folder, and it can be found near the table or under the table of the competition IT manager. There's usually a box there, and then you can maybe a table as well, and you can see the session number. You can find the age group and the body weight categories written on that envelope where all the documents for the weigh-in are waiting for you. Of course, make sure that you have the keys of the weigh-in room, or at least pass by and see if the weigh-in room is already open, talking about especially the early morning hours. Yeah. Early morning hours, it could be that it's closed. And what we also do, that the weigh-in rooms, when we don't use them, we actually leave them open most of the time so that athletes can come and do a pre-scale as well, as long as we don't use it as an official weigh-in. So the weigh-in is conducted in a room that must be equipped with the following items: an official calibrated scale, should be situated in a privately screened area, because in our masters competitions, we are not following the IWF rules of weigh-in. The athlete is entitled to decide if it leaves underwear or completely naked for the weigh-in. It doesn't need to wear. Actually, we have the rule that you cannot wear the singlet. It's either the underwear or nothing. It's up to the athlete. Then we need stationary kit supplies, a red marker, black and blue pen. We all have our phones with us now to calculate the 80% IMWA rule to the entry total that the athlete declares, and also based on the first snatch and the first clean and jerk declared in a weigh-in. The 80% must match, and also to check if it is still within the qualifying totals of that age group and body weight category. And of course, sufficient number of tables, chairs for the weigh-in procedure. So how do we determine the sequence of the athletes? After the closing date of the athlete's registration, the computer system throws a big series of numbers onto the full registered list. And it's actually from 1 to the last registration. This is called the lot number. Sure, you heard about this. These numbers are electronically randomly given. So the lot number will determine the start number. So each athlete will receive one lot number to determine fairness towards all lifters without being able to give favor to a specific athlete. Then we come to the weigh-in protocol sheet. The calling order of the weigh-in starts from the lowest lot number into the highest lot number in each body weight category per age group. The athlete with the lowest lot number will be called in first to weigh in, and so on. Now, in case an athlete has been called up but is not there, the calling will continue with the next athlete, and so on. And if the athlete turns up after the calling, this athlete must wait until all athletes on the list have been called up. Now, it's a choice if the athlete is on time, and nobody should wait for that athlete or be interrupted in his sequence or her sequence for the weigh-in calling. Now, the lot number becomes the start number. The lowest start number starts the first attempt. Therefore, the lot number brings fairness to all athletes. So you need to know the calling order, which is the basic of the smooth and correct, fair running of a competition. And always please remember that calling order. Number 1, the weight of the barbell, which always the lightest weight goes first. The loaders are not changing the weight of the barbells, going less than what was there on to suit another athlete who may lift less. So the weight of the barbell, the lightest weight always first. Number 2, the number of the attempts. The lowest number is always first. Then comes the sequence and the order of this previous attempt, and this determines which athlete will lift earliest in the first. We have that especially when we have athletes starting the same weight, with the first attempt with the same weight. So we need the start number to determine which athlete will go first. So the start number of the athlete determines this. Now, tips to simplify the weigh-in for athletes and the weigh-in team, and also maybe to make it faster for everyone. The athlete wants it as soon as possible in order to be able to eat. To eat and then to mentally and physically to start preparing for the competition. And the weigh-in team also, it's good to have it as soon as possible. Then it can be given to the IT manager. And when the IT manager has everything in the computer, everybody will receive the protocol of that session much sooner. And everybody knows, the athletes and coaches will know how to prepare even better regarding the number of attempts before his or her athlete goes to the competition. So let athletes know to be ready for the weigh-in by having simple and minimum clothes on. By knowing also the rules of the weigh-in team, and it can help newcomer athletes to answer any questions. And this helps newcomers to feel even more comfortable. So even athlete comes with, heavy and clothing, many clothes, to prepare already in the outside of the weigh-in room, to take off most of the necessary things, unnecessary clothes, to reduce the time for here or her weigh-in. And make sure, do you have your ID card or passport? Do you have all that ready? The accreditation card. The accreditation card is proof that the athlete has paid. So you also need to ask the accreditation card. Otherwise, somebody could turn up at the weigh-in and hasn't paid yet. We have that. So always make sure accreditation card and ID card to check. Right, from last year on, 1st of June, and now this year, 1st of August, we're going to change again, slightly. Fortunately, it's not going to be such a big change as it was last year, into the new IWF bodyweight categories. We have now 8 male and 8 female, and it will remain 8 male and 8 female bodyweight categories even after the 1st of August this year. But for the continental, at least for the European Masters Championship, we are using still the current IWF bodyweight categories. I do know that the Pan American Masters are using already the new version. Anyway, that's up to them. Thing is that for the World Masters Championship in Athens, we're going to use the new IWF bodyweight categories that will come in from the 1st of August 2026, in a few months. So you are in a weigh-in, you are calling up your athletes, you are filling out the athlete's card, and you also have this protocol sheet, the weigh-in protocol sheet. And now you can see how it works. You see the lot numbers in the red chart, and to your left side, you see it is now in start numbers 1 to 3 up to 10, because there are 10 athletes in this session. This is how it works. And it starts from the lowest lot number to the highest lot number. Now you see it starts from 29 and it ends at 280, but the start number is from 1 and it ends to 10. All lifters must provide a photographic ID and proof of age at the weigh-in. So acceptable proof of age documents are passports or national ID cards. But we also know that many driver's license if they have a photo of the driver on the driving license, then this is accepted as well. If there is no photo on it, it's not acceptable. And the weigh-in of each competition, as we know, will begin 2 hours before the start of the first group. And the weigh-in lasts 60 minutes, not 1 minute more or 1 minute less, unless all the lifters have been weighed in. So the IMWA weigh-in rule is athletes may be weighed in either completely undressed, as I said, or in undergarments. That means underwear. Right? So the articles of the athlete's outfit, like costumes, unitard, shorts, t-shirts, are not considered as undergarments. So athletes must not wear shoes or socks either, or any footwear during the weigh-in. Athletes with prosthetic limbs, as we have adaptive weightlifters, must be weighed with the prosthetic limbs. The weight of these athletes while wearing the prosthesis is considered to be the athlete's official body weight. And athletes are entitled to wear jewelry, hair adornments, religious headgear during the weigh-in. Athletes must not wear watches during the weigh-in. Here we have a typical athlete's card. And in a weigh-in, it needs to be filled out with the name, the nation, everything, the birth date. The birth date must match with what the ID cards from the athlete. The lot number turns into the start number. You can see that on the protocol sheet, the weigh-in. And then once the athlete is weighed in, you write the body weight and also the category. Okay. And there is no moving up or going down a body weight category from that is registered. So if an athlete fails to be in his or her body weight category, it has the 60 minutes of the weigh-in available to try to balance this out. Okay, and that means that you have to stay in a weigh-in room, and this athlete is entitled to come as many times it needs until the 60 minutes are over, and it determines whether the athlete managed to get into the category or not. If the athlete made it into the body weight, then you write the category, and then you also ask what is the first attempt in the snatch and what is the first attempt in the clean and jerk. We go to this here. Here you can see it's filled out. The lot number, start number, full name and surname, nation, date of birth, body weight category, weight in body weight, and the first declaration of the snatch. It has to be checked and signed by the coach or the athlete if the athlete is coming alone. The same goes for the clean and jerk. Then it is up to the weigh-in team to make sure that the 80% IMWA rule is implemented, is followed. And what is the 80%? The 80% at all our championships, the total weight of the starting attempts declared and actually taken in the snatch and clean and jerk must equal or exceed 80% of the weight of the verified entry total. The jury will exclude the athlete from the competition if this rule is not followed. The rule is known as the 80% rule and determines the minimum start total. Okay, the minimum that an athlete is entitled to start. So all fractions over 1 kilo for an athlete's minimum start total should be rounded up to the next highest kilogram. Now, for example, if the minimum start total ends up with 203.1, you round it up to 204. Here we have an example. An athlete enters a competition with a verified entry total of 250 kilo. The 80% of this 250 kilo is 200 kilo. And the total weight of the combined first attempt in the snatch and clean and jerk must equal must be the same or must be more than 200 kilo. Example, 90 kilo snatch and 100 kilo clean and jerk, or 87 snatch and 113 kilo clean and jerk, or any other combination. Practice that the minimum start total in this example should be 200 kilo and not less, not less. At continental championships and other local and regional master championships, this minimum start total can instead be set at 80% of the official qualifying total for the athlete's age group bodyweight category. And that would mean that the qualifying total then is lower. That can help athletes who are injured or whatever to prepare or to at least participate at continental masters championships. Important is that the World Masters Championships remain the highest quality and the highest standard of Masters weightlifting championship in the world. The athlete may submit an entry total that is lower than the total actually achieved at their qualifying competition, but it must be equal to or greater than the official qualifying total for the age and bodyweight category. I have to say that in the registration now, we have a lot of newcomers come in and they don't know that rule. So they enter the registration with strange entry totals that don't match the qualifying totals. Yeah. And so we had to build in now, just 2 days ago, another explanation into the registration, especially for the World Masters Championship Athens, and for the World Masters Games, the preliminary registration, which is running at the moment for next year in Japan, to have this explanation. And also, very important is no changes can be made to the entry total after the deadline of registration. Okay, no entry total. The entry total, once you wrote your entry total, and the deadline of registration passed, it cannot be changed anymore. Masters bodyweight change rule. At the verification meeting, before the start of any World or Continental Masters Championships, each national federation confirms the final entry list of their athletes, including the name of the athlete, age group, and bodyweight category. Now, what we have done, the verification meeting, we don't have actually a physical verification meeting anymore because it was very few national master chair would come to participate it. So instead, we have decided to do this online by giving a date where the National Masters Chair has the confirmation that these athletes will go into that and will keep that bodyweight category. After that deadline, and this is usually a few days before the start of our championships, the bodyweight category cannot be changed anymore. It's pretty much the same like the IWF does, or all IWF championships. It is athletes can send any bodyweight category changes, only one they can change, either up or down. Yeah, they cannot jump to 2 or 3. So any bodyweight category going up or down can be communicated to the secretariat here directly, and we are sending out the start lists every 2 weeks, updated, so this can be followed. And then when the deadline has come, if we don't receive any more changes, then this is it. Then we know that the final verification of all athletes have been done. As I said again, an athlete can move only up or down one bodyweight category during the period that is allowed to. And it must be ensured that this athlete can achieve the qualifying standard, especially when the athlete is going up one bodyweight category. if the athlete is on the limit and declare just the limit of the registered body weight category, and for whatever reason moves up to one body weight category, then actually the national master chair has to make sure that this athlete really can achieve, has the qualifying standard for that body weight category. Okay. Athletes cannot move to a higher or lower body weight category at the time of the weigh-in. After information is verified at the verification meeting, the entries or the verification meeting, the final date, the deadline of changes of body weight category, it is considered final. I explained that already before. If an athlete is too heavy or maybe too light, that can happen as well. Then the athlete has these 60 minutes of the weigh-in to try to find a way to balance this out. No extra time will be given. But you must be careful if you do the weigh-in and you have multiple body weight categories. That happens in masters weightlifting. So here, if a session has more than one body weight category, all athletes must weigh in into the registered body weight category. No more moving up one body weight category during the weigh-in possible. The same applies the same thing. So make sure that the athlete that is too heavy or it's too light, that you don't register them accidentally in the one that you think it must match with the body weight category of the athlete's card and on the protocol sheet of the weigh-in. Here we have what we said before, the weigh-in list. Once you've finished the registration on the athlete's card of all athletes, you need to fill in the weigh-in protocol sheet. Here you have it. You can see here, after the end of the weigh-in, the competition secretary must return the documents in the assigned session envelope to the competition IT manager after filling out the weigh-in protocol based on the athlete's cards. It has to match. So you please double check and calculate the 80% of the entry total. Okay, the competition IT manager fills out the data into the competition system accordingly, and then that is ready to be handed out to the coaches or, to be available for the public to prepare for the session. So we have come to the end of the competition secretary and the weigh-in. Do you have any questions?
No, it was okay.
No questions.
No questions. Okay. Right.
Dennis,
Yes.
Dennis, I have one question. There is the adaptive weightlifters. They have got they can have one or more prosthetic limbs. So how can we verify that they lift in the same prosthetic limb that they are in weighing?
I have the adaptive weightlifting technical official thing coming. That's our last topic. So
okay, thank you.
We'll look into that during the adaptive weightlifting technical official thing, which is our last topic after the referee. What we're going to look into it now. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Well, since there are no questions, I would say I'm going to share a screen again. No, wait. Share screen. There you go. Okay, are you all able to see the responsibility of the referee? Okay. Okay, so here, we are following the technical and competition rules of the IWF, and we have our own technical rules and regulations, masters tailored, which are implemented and referees need to know them. So the basics: be on time at your assigned seat and ready for the technical official's presentation. And that means make sure you know where you sit, left, right, or center. You can leave your bag there or whatever. If you have something like this, you can make sure if you have, if there's water on the table, whatever, before, and make sure then at the end that you are in the backstage, in the warm-up area, getting ready for the presentation. While you are refereeing, be impartial and assertive to all lifters, regardless which nation, including your own. Because we are no police force, that means make sure that you are cooperative among your colleagues. You don't have to be strict in a manner as a police force, but you need to use common sense. And what does that mean? Don't chase after mistakes, but don't be too relaxed either in any decision. We have every year, we have the same discussions about, oh, masters weightlifting should be more relaxed whatsoever, but it still must be weightlifting. It still has to be a snatch and it has to be a clean and jerk. Yes, the oldest age group are teaching us this well, but based on our doctor, who has since 1999 is with us, and he has done huge research in masters weightlifting, is a very strong recommendation to make sure that the more technical correct the lifts are, it is safer for even the oldest age groups to avoid injuries. So you have to bear that in mind. Sometimes it looks very strict, it looks, but it is in the best interest of the masters weightlifter to do a good technical lift as much as possible. And you base it on that, okay? You base your decisions on that. Wait to judge until the lifter has become fully motionless. As long as the lifter is still somehow tripping with his feet, backwards, forwards, sidewards, whatever, it means it's not motionless. Even if the lifter is twisting the upper body from the lower body, that means the lifter still is not motionless. Give it some time. Give the lifter the time to be fully motionless. Wear the correct uniform to be identified in your position. Please don't use any devices while you're on duty. The center referee can either be an IWF/IMWA category 1 or 2 technical official. The site referees can be a national, an IWF/IMWA category 1 or 2 technical official. Okay, but a national technical official cannot be center referee. So bear that in mind when you sign up for on the TO sheet that we usually send out. Okay, unless you want to sit exams, you let us know. You send us an email whenever you are ready to sit the practical exams, and we then get in touch with you, sort out which session is the best at which competition and which session is best for you to sit your exams. And there you will be put center referee. Okay. We have this already. We saw that in the last one. We have somebody else coming in. We said that also in the competition weigh-in, the secretary for the weigh-in, that at our events, the weigh-in team are not the same that are refereeing the same session. It doesn't have to be that way. It can be, but it doesn't have to be that way. Okay. If we are able, through the organizer of a championship, to build weigh-in teams that can do just the weigh-ins, it is the best for us to run our championships on the multiple competition platforms that we are running now. Okay. The referees, but especially the center referee, can help the loaders by checking if the barbell is correctly loaded and place it in the middle of the competition platform. The center referee can usually observe blood on the barbell immediately after the lift. So it is a good way, if you are a referee, is get to know each other with the loaders and also maybe with the jury. And somehow with loaders, try to keep a little bit of eye contact. What we do usually, also on IWF events, is that we communicate with the loaders, asking them to clean the competition platform and the barbell at latest after every 20 lifts. That keeps a smooth running of the competition, and things remain in place. If the referee light system is broken, the lift can happen. The center referee becomes very, very important, because the center referee will then become the manual down signal. But to do that, the center referee must seek the confirmation from the side referees immediately. That means looking to the left, looking to the side. You usually have a flags, manual flags, or a white or red board on your table, which you need to use. Okay, so the three referees must use the white or red flag respectively after the center referee gives an audible and visible down signal. Okay, very important. The center referee becomes then the down signal manual, sort of. But you cannot do that on your own. The center referee cannot just, show the flag, the decision by white or red. You need to look first left or right or left to the side referees, your colleagues, and then the
15th.
The white or red flag. And please, I ask everyone to mute your micros so that we don't get interrupted here through this PowerPoint presentation. Thank you. The athlete has not heard or noticed the down signal. That can happen when there is a very crowded competition hall. That can happen. Or you never know, maybe the down signal is not very loud. Then the center referee needs to give an audible and visible down signal. Okay, so make sure that you are ready to be able to do this. We come now to the technical rules, and after we finish here the referees, I would like to go into some videos of what the IWF produced. I've shown them in a previous PowerPoint presentation. The Zoom webinars is about what is a no lift. So here we go. The technical rule regarding the height of the knees. The clock will stop as soon as the bar is lifted from the platform, and the referees must count as no lift an unfinished attempt in which the barbell has reached the height of the knee. Here you can see in the picture is already above the knee. So once the barbell has reached the knee level, the attempt is complete. If the athlete lowers the barbell in such case, he or she cannot repeat his attempt. And in this case, all the referees must press red. Here you have it the other way around. You can see on the picture that the lifter lifted the barbell from the competition platform, and that means the clock stops. The clock stops. But the clock must restart to continue if a lifter lifted the barbell just below the knees and returned the barbell back on the platform. However, if at the end of the allocated time, the athlete has not raised the barbell from the platform, that means by attentive also, the timing clock, the time run out, it becomes then a no lift, a red. And again, referees must press red. It doesn't go automatically. No? We have also the touching the barbell with his or her footwear. If an athlete touches the barbell with the footwear before the attempt, the referees must press a red. It's immediately a no lift. If the barbell is touched after a successful attempt with his or her footwear, the referee's decision will not be reversed. However, the jury will give a warning to that athlete. And if the athlete repeats this action on another lift, the lift will then become an automatic no lift. This is the rotation here. All three referees must give the lifter the full time to become motionless. I said that in the beginning. Here you can see that the lifter is twisting. The upper body is going in one direction and the feet are in another direction. You need to give it time until the athlete becomes motionless, and meaning doesn't move or doesn't even try anymore or cannot, but for whatever reason, rotate back to become fully motionless and in one line with feet, trunk, and head, and the barbell. Now, each referee can reverse its decision within 3 seconds after the down signal has been given. 3 seconds. If you, in what way that can be? You very good lift, technical, great lift. You press a white light, but then the lifter let the barbell fall on the back, from the back on the platform. And then here you need to reverse your decision. The other way is also when the lifter has come so close to the edge of the competition platform, the down signal has come, the lifter had a great lift, technically everything okay, but the barbell falls back on the competition platform, outside of the competition platform, then this becomes a no lift. However, if it falls first on the competition platforms and bumps off from the competition platform, then that doesn't change. It's a good lift. The barbell does not have to remain on the competition platform. Okay, but if the barbell falls first outside of the competition platform, even if it was a good technical lift, it becomes a no lift. So at the end, when the session finishes, we are getting ready for the medal ceremony. And we need the referees, if possible, to remain to help us to conduct the medal ceremony. And if there is a best lifter award, to do that as well. And we always do the medal ceremony after the end of every session. So don't run immediately away, and help, if possible, with the medal ceremony. Do you have any questions? Any questions at all? It's quiet.
No questions, thank you.
Yeah, okay. Right, as I said, I would like to share some IWF videos of no lifts to get into this. Yeah. Are you able to see this?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Just watch. Here's the twist. You see that? It's, she is not in line with her full body, feet, trunk, head, and the barbell on top. Here she touched with her butt the competition platform. And that becomes a no lift either. You cannot touch in any way any other part of the body, the competition platform. Your time is running out. Yeah, your time just ran out. No, he didn't extend his body practically. Here we have touching the barbell with the foot before. Okay. We'll look into others. So more. Okay.
Must be squared, 400 centimeters by 400 centimeters. Lifters cannot leave the competition platform or touch the area outside the competition platform with any part of the body before the complete execution of the lift.
I mean, you can see the lifter is out, it is halfway outside of the competition platform, but it's not touching the outside area of the competition platform.
Legs must be fully extended at the completion of the lift.
That's a tricky one. Have a good look. Look at this. Look at the lift. There you go. He extends them nicely,
Eventually.
but it's not a good lift still. It looks good. Look at the elbow.
Bending and extending of the elbows is an incorrect movement.
Right.
Athletes who for any reason cannot fully extend the elbows must report or display this fact to all on-duty referees, as well as to the jury, prior to the start of the competition. They may remind them of this fact prior to the start of each lift when on the platform. This is the sole responsibility of the athlete. No bandages or substitutes are allowed within 10 centimeters of the elbow area. The 10 centimeter area consists of 5 centimeters above and 5 centimeters below the elbow.
Here you can see an elbow touch. Our last one. Here you can see that she went above the knee, and yet they didn't stop. The referees didn't stop. Okay. Right. Do you have any questions regarding these video clips, these no lifts, what you have seen? Andy? No? Okay, I see here a hand up. Ismail, Sally Ismail, I give you the word.
Hello, thank you very much for your explaining about the weightlifting rules and referees. I want to ask about the touch by foot. When the no lift and when the warning, when the athlete it want to touch the barbell by the foot. Thank you.
Oh, yes. I already saw that in the previous in the referee's PowerPoint presentation, which you all will receive anyway. So the current rule is this: an athlete comes on the competition platform for his lift, and he touches his foot on the barbell. The referees give immediately a no lift. But if the athlete makes the lift, comes on the competition platform, makes the lift, and then touches the foot on the competition barbell, you know, maybe just to help it not jumping too much, then this lifter, the decision of the lift will be accordingly, and the lifter will be given a warning. If the lifter does it again after the lift, then that lift becomes then a no lift. Yeah, have you understood? When
Yes, yes, I understood. Yes,
okay.
yes.
Okay.
Before the lift, when the athlete touch the bar, it is the no lift. But
It is
after the
immediately a no
complete,
lift.
Yes, after the complete the lift, when the athlete touch the foot, it's the first time it's warning, but
Exactly.
second time it's no lift.
It's a no lift. Yes.
Thank you
Exactly.
very much. Thank you
Okay,
very much.
thank you. Thank you. You're welcome. Okay.
Denise,
Yes.
but the red button doesn't work in this case before the lift. We have to take the red flag, I think.
Yes. Whenever the referee's light system does not work on your table, you use the flags. Whatever is been given to the white, red board flag, whatever is been used to you.
Especially in the touching the bar, the system is not accepting the button. If I see the touch before the lift on the barbell, I pressed the button and the light system didn't work.
Okay, that means maybe it needs the down signal in order to make it to activate. Then you need to definitely just show the flag. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. In any case. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Okay. Any other questions, or maybe remarks, or something that you has experienced and you would like to share with us? A weird thing, a weird experience. No. Okay. Right. We go to the last part, and this is the masters athletes. Okay, give me a moment. I will sort this out first. Okay. Right, I'm ready. Here we are. So we are in the last part for today. For now, the responsibility of technical officials in masters adaptive weightlifting. It's not an easy one because masters, the adaptive weightlifting is a different section. We have the basics of the technical rules, which applies for them just as way it applies for non-adaptive weightlifters, but nevertheless, there are certain differences. So let's go into each one and have a look. Okay, these are just the agenda of it. Right. What are the guiding principles? Of course, the safety of the athlete on the field of play where adjustments might be needed. The integrity of sport, that means to be respectful or to all athletes, to be also inclusive. And of course, the compliance with the technical rules. And you always need to remember that an adaptive athlete, it might not be seen from the outside. We have 8 categories. We're going to look into this now to make you aware of. And some of the impairments are not shown. You just don't see it from the outside. And like deaf or blind may have the same strength like a non-adaptive lifter, being able to lift a lot of weight. And people are asking about where is the adaptive here? Okay, we do announce that. The speaker announces this. The speaker announces, and also in our sessions, we have this also highlighted when we have an adaptive lifter. But of course, it is not our job to go into more details of the impairment of each adaptive weightlifter because it's a personal thing. But so what we do as a speaker, he gives the classification of the impairment. So what are the classifications? Athletes who are deaf, deafened or hard of hearing, athletes with visual impairments, athletes with intellectual impairments, and it can be also a combination, athletes with limb deficiencies, no prostheses, and athletes with limb deficiencies with prostheses. Athletes with range of motion impairments or joint instability, and athletes competing with the use of a wheelchair, and at last, athletes of short stature. When we look at number 6, athletes with range of motion impairments or joint instability, this is a category, we don't see that. You don't see it from the outside, but we have it very clearly explained, the physical ailments, the permanent physical ailments, to be allowed, called an adaptive athlete in the category 6, means range of motion impairments or joint instability. It's very well explained. It's on our website, and it determines whether an athlete is practically eligible to lift under this category. Let's go a bit further into each category. Deaf, deafened, or hard of hearing guidelines. An athlete can compete in an able-bodied body weight category or choose to compete as an adaptive athlete. Hearing aids or cochlear implants may be worn on the platform. Okay, and as I say, there's a difference between a device in the ear with music and whatever, and there is a difference of an hearing aid, an implant, whatever, can be worn as a Masters Adaptive athlete. And it's the Masters Adaptive athlete who will inform us about it. The speaker will know, the chief marshal knows, and the technical controller should know also. A coach can stand behind the referees during the lift so that the down signaling can be clearly seen by athletes. Although this is the work of the center referee, as we have seen before, but the coach is entitled to be behind the referee during the lift to ensure that the down signal can be clearly seen by the athlete. Athletes or coach may request the center referee to give a more robust manual down signal. And coach may give the down signal once the referee's decision is visible and all the electronic signal is heard. In a case like this, we need to make sure that the referees are known about this, the jury. So in a way, the competition secretary will know also who, in what session, who will be an adaptive weightlifter under this category, and will inform us. And of course, we will get the information from the athlete as well. We actually have one athlete in Belgium, a woman who in this category participating. So we will definitely learn from her. Visual impairment guidelines. A coach can walk athlete onto the stage and onto the platform to assist with the start of the lift. Regulation clock starts to run per current rules. So please be aware, 1 additional minute is allowed for an adaptive lifter, for the coach to be prepared, and for the coach to step off the platform. That means every adaptive athlete is entitled to 3 minutes per attempt from the moment the information has been given from the speaker, the name has been called up from the speaker's table, then the clock can start to 3 minutes. However, an adaptive lifter can also say, I don't need 3 minutes. I will go with 2 minutes. Then it will be 2 minutes. The athlete can say, I will go with the normal sequence, 1 minute for per lift, and if it is if the lifter follows himself, 2 minutes. It's up to the adaptive lifter, he or her, she can choose. Athletes or coach may request a center referee to give a more verbal audible down signal. Intellectual impairment guidelines. A coach can walk athlete onto the stage and onto the platform to assist with the start of the lift. Regulation clock starts to run per current rules. We said that before, 3 minutes per attempt. Coaches will be allowed to stand behind the technical officials during the athlete's lift to signal coaches down cues. And the center technical official, the center referee, may be asked to provide a more robust down signal, and the coach may give a down signal also once the officials, that means the referees, have given a visible and or an electronical decision that can be heard. Here you have intellectual impairment, Down syndrome weightlifter. We come to the next category, lower extremity amputee guidelines with and without prosthesis. An athlete can perform single leg snatch and clean and jerk. An athlete can perform lift with a leg prosthesis. However, no myoelectric prostheses are allowed. Small discs must be secured on the inside of the collars for all adaptive weightlifters. Okay, for all adaptive weightlifters, please be reminded, the small discs, they must be inside the collars. Athletes using a prosthesis must weigh in with prosthesis and demonstrate that the artificial limb is not powered or able to store energy. And I come back to your question, Jorma, and that means no matter how many prostheses the athlete has, if the athlete has more prostheses, then it will be weighed in with all the prostheses. However, no prostheses are allowed myoelectrically. Upper extremity amputee guidelines with and without prosthesis. An athlete can perform single arm snatch and clean and jerk. An athlete can perform lift with an arm prosthesis. An athlete can perform lift with use of strap briefly attached to the bar. However, myoelectric arms, which are needed to open and close the hands, are here permitted. Myoelectric arms, which are needed to open and close the hands, are here permitted. Athletes without the use of prosthesis will be allowed to press out. Small discs must always be secured inside the collars. And an athlete must weigh in with prosthesis and demonstrate the artificial limb it is not powered or able to store energy, no? To ensure that the fair competition is on and nothing is been hidden. You can see on the picture down, there is a myoelectric arm that helps then the athlete to open and close the fingers in order to grab the barbell. Here you see a one-arm snatch or clean and jerk. We had her in Orlando with us. Very successful and very strong woman. Here you can see her again. Range of motion impairment or joint instability guidelines. By the way, I would like to go back to the previous one. What is needed now? The 15 kilo barbell does not have a rough grip in the middle, as we are all aware. So in this case, and we had that with this lifter here, the female lifter, because there is not this rough grip, she lifted with a 20 kilo barbell, who has a rough grip. Okay, and we have talked with Eleiko after, and Eleiko has donated 15 kilo barbell to this lifter, making that rough grip in the center, so that she was able as a woman to train and even take it to competition, her own barbell, to do the one snatch, the one arm snatch or the one arm clean and jerk with a 15 kilo barbell. But in any other case, because it is not on the market yet, 20 kilo barbell is usually used even for men or women who are doing a one arm snatch and clean and jerk. Range of motion impairment or joint instability guidelines. Athletes who cannot fully extend their elbows must still adhere to the current regulations. Athletes who cannot fully lower their torso to reach the height of the bar may be permitted to lift from blocks. However, blocks cannot be higher than the top of the athlete's patella. So there's a limit here. Jerk may be replaced with a push press to full extension. So no posing of the arms here. A snatch may be replaced with muscle snatch to full extension without pause of the arms. Joint bracing may be worn on the platform. We had this athlete also in Orlando from Canada who needed blocks to start the lift and also to return the barbell on the competition platform. And that is accepted in adaptive lifting. Athletes with the use of a wheelchair guidelines, and that is part 1. Use of a wheelchair lap mat or blocks may be used and it is permitted, as you can see on the picture. If blocks are used, the resting bottom for most part of the barbell with plates on the barbell may be no more than 5 centimeters above the lap or pad. Coaches or assigned volunteers may place barbell on the athlete's lap mat or blocks. The athlete is allowed to readjust the barbell on their lap or blocks if needed. And a muscle snatch will be acceptable if the bar does not stop or descend on its way upward. Here we have part 2 of the athletes with use of a wheelchair guidelines. Barbell is allowed to touch the chest before it stops at the final position, either on the collarbone, the chest, or on fully bent arms. And following a lap clean, the barbell must be in contact with the shoulders to begin the press. Strict press or seated push press is permitted with fully locked out finished position. As you can see on the picture below the last one. An athlete can shrug or bounce shoulders to get the press movement started. Athlete's wheelchair must be placed directly in front of the platform. So gym mats must be placed in front of athletes for the best safety. Here we have the athlete with use of a wheelchair guideline, and that is part 3. Athlete's arms must be fully extended upon completion of lift. Also, barbell may pose on its way up. It cannot be lowered and then raised. Once the barbell descends, a no lift has occurred. And after full extension is reached and after a loud audible down signal from the center referee, 2 volunteer spotters will secure the barbell and return it safely to the platform. Only the athlete, loaders, and spotters can make contact with the barbell. Coaches are not allowed on the platform after the attempt has started. Then we come to athletes with use of wheelchair guidelines, the part 4. Competition clock set to the 3 minutes. As we said before, they are entitled to 3 minutes for each lift. It starts to run when the athlete's name is called by the speaker. This will provide time for the athlete and the spotters to set up the barbell. Small disc must be secured inside the collar. The athlete may be assisted for the weigh-in with a helper. If weigh-in is in person, a wheelchair scale must be used. Athlete's wheelchair will be weighed in first, followed by weight with the athlete in the chair. And then the athlete's body weight will be calculated by counting the 2 weights in total. Here we have a difference with the timing. Weigh-in can be undertaken by medical profession 36 hours in advance of if not done in person. 36 hours before, wheelchair adaptive athletes are entitled to their weigh-in before their competition. We come to the last category, and that is the short stature guidelines. Athletes can compete in able-bodied bodyweight category or choose to compete as an adaptive athlete. Men are permitted to use the 15 kilo bar or the 20 kilo bar. Women are permitted to use the 15 kilo bar or the 10 kilo bar. Athletes must let referees know if they cannot fully extend arms or legs before each attempt. Now, what lead loaders need to know and spotters? Loaders need to know regular duties for all loading except for athletes with use of wheelchair. The athletes with use of wheelchair requirements are: loaders lift the barbell and place it on the athlete's lap mat or on the blocks. Remove hands and step back from the barbell. Do not touch the wheelchair. Upon the referee's signal, secure the barbell from both sides and lower it to the platform. And if requested, assist the athlete to the exit to the platform where the coach can take over. Now we come to the technical officials as timekeepers. Timekeepers set and start the timing clock at 3 minutes per attempt. We said before, adaptive lifters can choose their timing. So we ask them, the speaker usually asks, and then the sequence of the lifting, it's going to be with 3 minutes or 2 minutes, or the running of the normal technical rules, 1 minute, or by following yourself, 2 minutes. Timing clock starts the moment the speaker announces at least the athlete's name, or when the barbell is loaded and loader spotters remove hand from barbell. Stop the clock immediately as barbell is raised from athlete's lap. The athlete always has 3 minutes to start the attempt, even with consecutive lifts, unless they choose otherwise. Technical controller, assigned to all sessions, including adaptive athletes. Ensure necessary modifications to field of play. Ensure technical rules are implemented. Checks to see that adaptive lift athletes' warm-up platform is closest to the entrance of competition platform, and the path between platform is clear of dangerous obstructions. Now that makes it much easier if the adaptive athletes' warm-up area is closest to the competition platform. Provide clarification of the rules and address concerns of athletes and coaches. And also, this is where the technical controller becomes the necessary information of what an adaptive lifter needs to tell us, what we need to know. And then it can be exchanged as well, and to be reminded, so to have a good and fair competition for everyone. A second technical controller may be assigned to assist adaptive athletes as required, depending on the situation. Here we have the announcer, the speaker. The speaker introduces yourself to adaptive athlete and the coach in the warm-up area. Ask how to pronounce athlete's name correctly if needed. If you need to know anything, ask the adaptive athlete or coach, is there anything we need to know? Is there anything you need in general that is not here in place at the moment? Then provide the audience with what adaptive category the athlete is competing under. As we said, it is announced that it's an adaptive weightlifter and what category. Do not disclose any personal health information to the audience on the adaptive athlete. Now, the speaker who receives all the information, it would be highly advisable to share any information regarding this adaptive athlete to the referees and the jury. So to make sure that everybody is aware of and everything is in place. Let's say we have a deaf masters adaptive athlete coming on the competition platform and has a hearing aid, and it looks like a device. If the referees and the jury don't know that this is an adaptive lifter with hearing impairment, then there is no need to have a device in the ear. For the remaining other athletes, as long as an adaptive lifter does not need any hearing, anything in the ear, a device in the ear, if it is not for a hearing aid. So the same applies for any lifter. Do you have any questions regarding the adaptive weightlifting? Stop sharing now. Any questions at all? Yoma, did this PowerPoint presentation answer your question regarding multiple prostheses?
Not exactly that. Can they lift in one prosthetic, or can they have more than one when lifting?
Yes, of course they can have. It's not that they have. If you have you can have a master's adaptive lifter who has maybe an arm prosthesis and also a leg prosthesis. Of course, he's entitled to.
Yeah, yes, but if they have like leg prosthesis, that you know that he must have the same leg prosthesis in the weigh-in that he has got in the lifting. Like the same. It's like a singlet that you must wear the same singlet
Yes,
in the
of course,
weighing.
of course.
Yeah,
Yes, because it will determine then. It is. Of course, we cannot know, huh? If it is the same one. Let's be very clear and honest about it. We don't know, huh? The thing is that yeah, the lifter cannot use any myoelectronic prosthesis on the competition platform, except those who need the fingers.
Yeah,
and you can, in order to open the fingers to grab the barbell. That's all.
Okay.
It starts there and it stops there. No? Yeah. But it is impossible for us to check if if an athlete uses the same prosthesis from the weigh-in on the competition platform.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, that's.
I have no idea. Impossible, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have any questions? For those who came in late, we would like to ask you if you have not registered on our link for technical officials so that we have your contacts. Please leave your email address in the chat here so that we can have contact, and you will receive from us the PowerPoint presentations in PDF format on next week. We will send out everything, and we will also publish everything on our website. And of course, this recording here will be available on our YouTube IMWA channel, so you can review it anytime you want. It will help you if you want to sit exams to get the answers. It's good to contact us if anybody wants to sit exams to go to a higher level. You will receive all the documentations, the questions and the answers. So, and because we know that in theory, okay, but we need practical experiences to get used to this and to be able to remember all these technical rules. It's normal. We cannot remember everything. So if there are no questions left, then I will leave you to it. Thank you so much. Let me know tomorrow. For those who are able to continue with me, at the same time tomorrow, I have the position of Chief Marshal, the technical controller, and the athlete's outfit. We're going to look into that. It's again at 11 a.m. and at 6 p.m. Cyprus time. Wherever you are, check your time zone and be with us again. Thank you so much. And if you have any questions whatsoever, you contact us. You will receive anyway all the documentation. Then you have our email address. Usually it's very well known from the secretariat, and we will guide you all the way through so that we have you in our great IMWA technical official family. Thank you so much and have a wonderful Friday.
Thank you today.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, Dennis. Thank you. See you tomorrow.
I see that somebody. Okay, I see somebody raised their hand. Derry, you raised your hand. Do you have any questions? Okay. Okay. Thank you so much.
Bye, Denise.